This offseason, we've talked a lot about the Mariners going out and signing a starting pitcher so that way they can trade one of their young guys like a Bryce Miller or a Brian Wu or possibly, as much as I would hate it, even a Logan Gilbert. But now the Mariners have been linked to the top pitching name in all of MLB in free agency this winter, and that is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now, Jon Morosi went on MLB Network and talked about the possibility of the Mariners signing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and he even talked to Jerry Dipoto a little bit about it. I'm going to play both of those clips for you here in just a second so we can really get into, does Yamamoto fit? Does it make sense for the Mariners to go out and spend that kind of money? But first, let's look at Yamamoto's numbers. Yamamoto just turned 25 years old. He's coming over from Japan. He's expected to be posted, or by the time you're watching this, maybe has already been posted. And he is someone who would change the landscape of the Mariners rotation. Yamamoto has pitched 7 years in Japan to the tune of a 1.72 ERA. He's 75-30 in that span. He also strikes out a lot of hitters. He struck out 986 batters in those 7 years, including 176 of them last year. He also isn't really on an innings limit. He threw 193 innings in 2021 and in 2022, down to 171 in 2023. His strikeouts per nine is good for right around a 9.6 and 10.6 in 2020. His strikeout to walks is also something that makes him really intriguing for the Mariners, as he has a career 4.56 strikeouts to walk ratio, and he's had a 6.29 in 2023. Yamamoto won the MPB's version of the Cy Young in 2021 and 2022. And MLB Trade Rumors has Yamamoto going out and getting a 9-year, $225 million deal, which is about $25 million AAV. And the guys at MLB Trade Rumors think he's going to sign with either the Giants or the Yankees. Those are the two teams they really put on there. However, when you scroll down here, they also said the Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants, Tigers, Cubs, and Rangers all figured to check in. No mention of the Seattle Mariners, however. The addition of Yamamoto to the Seattle Mariners puts him as probably the 2 or 3 in that rotation, behind, of course, Luis Castillo and George Kirby. You can argue that he'd be the ace of that staff, but we don't know how well it's all going to translate. Of course, it's always a little different coming over from the MPB, a different ball and whatnot. But again, no mention of the Mariners by MLB Trade Rumors, and yet here we are talking about it. Why? Is it because Colton needed a video idea? Well, yeah, kinda. But also, Jon Paul Morosi mentioned that Yamamoto and the Mariners make a whole lot of sense, and we've talked again about trading someone like Logan Gilbert to the Cardinals. We know the Cardinals like Logan Gilbert, the Orioles like Logan Gilbert. Trading him there and getting back a bat. And again, if you're trading Logan Gilbert, you're going to need a damn good bat, because Logan was one of the most consistent pitchers in all of baseball in 2023. Again, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller are also options to be traded as well, but getting a bat back, either an outfielder, a corner outfielder, or second base, like we've seen Brendan Donovan, I've talked about a lot. Nolan Gorman, don't love that. I mean, Jordan Walker, Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, all these guys make sense for the Mariners to try to go out and get. But if you're trading Logan Gilbert, you're going to want to aim a little bit higher than the Dylan Carlsons and Tyler O'Neills of the world. Nonetheless, we're not talking about that. Simply put, signing Yoshinobu Yamamoto makes a lot of sense. Now let's listen to what JP Morosi said and then his talk with Jerry Dipoto and kind of flesh out how we feel about the situation.
Starting pitching side, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Now you may say, well, the Mariners have as much young pitching as anybody in the game, and that's correct. But if you imagine a scenario in which Yamamoto signs with the Mariners, that opens up the potential to trade a Logan Gilbert for the bat they need. It's sort of a two-tiered approach, and you can never have enough pitching. Let's take a listen to what Jerry Dipoto said this week when I asked him about Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Very unique. I think that's in such that he's just built out. He's an exceptional talent. I think he's played on the biggest stages and in international play. Obviously, an excellent career.
Could you imagine a situation in which Ichiro picks up the phone or pays a visit to Yoshinobu and actually has a conversation?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't all that inspiring, in my opinion, hearing what Jerry had to say. And really, JP Morosi is just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. Again, Yamamoto makes sense. Is it a clear link between the two? No, but I mean, anytime that the best starting pitcher on the market is talked about with the president of baseball operations of the Seattle Mariners, it's my job to cover it. Jerry didn't seem like he is absolutely going all in on Yamamoto. Personally, I think Yamamoto is going to sign with the Cubs. I think it makes a lot of sense. They have the money. They need a better pitching staff. And it just makes sense for Yamamoto to go there. I wouldn't be shocked to see him with the Giants either. So those are two teams that I would expect him to go. But with that being said, signing with the Mariners, as JP Morosi mentioned, is certainly possible, and there's an article written by Shannon Drayer that I think is very, very interesting. Shannon wrote an article over on Seattle Sports saying that Mariners' path to offseason success, it's more pitching. Drayer goes on to mention that, yeah, the Mariners pitching staff was really good, but they sucked in September. The staff as a whole posted the American League's second worst F4 of 1.0 and 12th ranked FIP of 4.77, with Seattle starting pitchers 13th in F4 and the bullpen coming in 14th in F4. Drayer does not mention Yamamoto specifically, but again, it just is a small little fit there that makes sense with what Drayer said and what JP Morosi was reporting. Again, we know the Mariners really need to focus on their offense this offseason, and maybe the best way to do that is by trading one of your starting pitchers, because there really isn't that offense out there on the free agent market that may not be willing to sign with you. Of course, there are the guys like Cody Bellinger, Shohei Ohtani, etc., but after that, there's a steep drop off. So you need to go out and fortify your positions in the outfield, as well as maybe even second base, and find a way to make this offense better in 2024, and the best way to do that might be trading starting pitching. As for what free agents make sense for the Seattle Mariners out there on the market this offseason, I have a video on the screen right now talking about that. Go ahead and check that one out. I appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.